As we wrap up 2022, I want to take a look at some of my favorite and not so favorite audio solutions for gaming, as well as check out some stuff we didn't get a chance to look at this year. And I gotta say, I am stoked because Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2.0 are here, and audio finally plays a really important role in COD again. Footsteps in particular are of very high importance in the multiplayer modes, and fortunately, most of the products in this lineup are really gonna let you take advantage of that. You ready? Let's go! So there's no question that 2022 was the year of using IEMs for gaming, and no single product made as much impact this year as the Critical and Truthier collab, the Zero. These come in at a price of $50, and I recommend these constantly because of the dual drivers and the crossover, so they can deliver really solid bass without it getting in the way of the mids, and somehow the directional positioning on these is better than IEMs that cost way more. I did a pretty detailed and lengthy breakdown of these on my last big IEM video, and I've been using them still for gaming. They're a super easy recommend, though they would be a little easier to give as a gift if the box art were a little more subdued. After that video dropped, I had a crazy amount of people reach out to me to suggest I try these, the Raptgo HookX Planar IEM. It took me a minute to figure out where all the energy for these was coming from, and I traced it all back to my guy, Fresh Reviews. If you're unfamiliar with Fresh, he is a dangerous man in the world of Apex and Valorant, and he's been on a very expensive journey to seemingly test every IEM known to man, with a heavy emphasis on how they perform in competitive FPS. He's also a great go-to for FPS mouse reviews. This man is really about that life, so I had to go grab a pair of these to check out for myself. These are quite a bit higher up in price point at $239. These are planar, and I don't like these. That's nothing against Fresh at all. These are solid for competitive gaming. Let me explain. They're open back, I guess, which is kind of odd. If you're thinking like an open back headphone, they're not like that. You can hear sound coming out of these, but the sound leak is super minimal in comparison to an open back headphone. They do have a more natural, large feeling soundstage versus like the 7 Hz Timeless that felt very artificial, and these can get very low with the bass, and they tuck that bass and sub bass out of the way of the rest of the mix, so I definitely see why Fresh likes these for gaming. But at a price point of $239, I would want these to be solid for gaming and be able to pull double duty for me for music listening, and these absolutely do not do that for me. The entire mid-range is fuzzy. I don't mean it's not defined, I mean it sounds distorted, like a fuzz pedal on a guitar, like something is vibrating in a way it is not supposed to. Vocals on these feel really close and really boxy, and they have a very pronounced metallic timbre. I tested these extensively on numerous DAC amps, and I just can't believe that an audio product at this price point would be engineered to sound like this. I feel like there has to be something wrong with these, and after doing some really light research, it seems like these are plagued with QC issues. I had to have gotten a bad pair because woof. I will probably give these another go when and if they get their stuff sorted out, but at this price point, I would expect to not have to deal with QC issues, and if you didn't know better, you'd just think these were a very poor sounding product. In gaming, for me, the soundstage isn't enough to sell me on the experience, and when enemies are directly above or below me, which happens a lot in the new Modern Warfare 2 TDM, they don't give me any directional abilities over the Blessing to Dusk, and I absolutely adore those for music. Now, granted, they are almost $100 more. I covered those in detail in that big IEM video as well. So I've really been enjoying the IEM experience, but sometimes I also enjoy the convenience of wireless gaming that I get on the headset side. And I have to say this because this comes up in every wireless audio video that I do. The only reason to choose wireless over a wired solution is convenience. Getting up and walking away from the desk, taking a call, Bluetooth mixing, chat mix, convenience features. If you're the user that absolutely prioritizes audio quality over convenience, you will almost always want to stick with a wired headphone or IEM setup. I did have a couple of wireless gaming earbuds and IEMs come across my desk, gaming because they utilize a 2.4 gigahertz dongle, one from Epos, one from Logitech. Neither of them are really where I want them to be in their current state for me to recommend them, though the G-Fits from Logitech are a far more complete product than the Epos offering. I'll probably cover them both in a single video at a later point, but not today. But we've had some pretty exciting releases in the wireless headset space this year because competition has forced nearly everything to just get good. Pricing is still all over the place, and it can get pretty punishing at the top end. For me, the biggest unnecessary feature wave that everybody seemed to jump on this year was active noise cancellation. It boosted the prices up, left us with ear pads that got really hot really quick, and in some cases invaded people's ear canals in a non-consensual manner. I'm talking, of course, about the Arctis Nova Pro Wireless. It's very solid and absolutely feature-packed, but the noise canceling really felt like an unnecessary unnecessary add-on, and the price is breathtakingly expensive at $349.99. If you're curious about that one and you want to see an overview of all the wireless headsets at that flagship tier, I will leave a link to a very detailed review I did on it that also has comparisons and rankings in a lot of various categories like sound quality, comfort, mic quality, etc. But the one that really got my attention from SteelSeries this year is the Arctis Nova 7, priced at $179.99. This has the new Nova frame design that slides, so it fits really small and really large heads, and a redesigned hinge from the original Arctis line, which hopefully will hold up a little better. If you get the version for Xbox, like I have here, it works great on PC and PS5 as well. This has chat mix, it has Bluetooth sound mixing, and it has side tone, so you can hear yourself back in your own mic, which is retractable. If you're on the PC, you can use their Sonar software, which gives you some mic EQing options as well, but that stuff doesn't work on the console side, so you've been hearing this the whole time just straight with no sonar. Because it doesn't have noise canceling, you don't have the little nubs inside the ear cups, and you get breathable sport mesh pads instead of the faux leather pads. I much prefer the sport mesh, but I really prefer these. These are wicked cushions, and shout out to the Techni for getting me connected with these guys, because these are a serious upgrade. They have options to fit just about every gaming headset and headphone out there, including the new Arctis Nova models. These come in colors as subdued or as wild as you'd like. They have varieties with cooling mesh. The stitching here is very high quality, and they are super soft. I can't believe I slept on these for so long. For something like the Corsair Virtuoso, they are a major improvement. I have nothing negative to say about these. The quality is sick. I'll be running these on all my gaming headsets going forward. So overall, build-wise, the Arctis 7 feels plasticky in hand, because it is, but that also means it's really light and really comfortable. There are no pressure points anywhere here. At $179, this is nearly half the price of the Nova Pro wireless. Now, you are giving up the noise canceling, the base station, and that phenomenal battery swap system. Battery life here is about 38 hours. The sound is geared for gaming. The directional positioning, very solid. The bass is here, but it's immersive without getting in the way. It can pull double duty for music listening as well, as long as you don't consider yourself an audiophile. This many features, this level of comfort at this price point, this gets my nod for Wireless Gaming Headset of the Year and is the first official recipient of the Golden Beard Award. Very prestigious. When I'm running a wireless headset, this is what I'm using, because the sound quality here is very similar to the Pros, but these are much more comfortable for longer sessions. I would definitely be on the lookout for any holiday sales for this one if you're in the market. Now, if you don't need all the convenience features like Bluetooth or sadly even chat mix, but instead want arguably the best sounding wireless microphone I've heard yet, the HS80 from Corsair is definitely worth a look. These are compatible with PC and PS5. At their regular price of $149.99, I would knock them for their lack of features given the competition, but depending on when you see this, you may be able to grab these for right under $100, and these are a very good deal at that price. I'd also probably knock them for their battery life, which is up to only 20 hours here. These feel like they're built very well, like noticeably better in hand than the Arctis. The hinge appears to be metal, and it's got a nice dampening on the rotation. They don't have any adjustment on the headband frame itself. They've moved to an internal ski band strap, and it's got 2 Velcro points inside. It's just almost a bit too small for me because I have a pretty tall forehead measurement. If that's you too, I'm sorry. I feel your pain, but these are going to work just fine for most people. The ear pads here are cloth. They feel like they'd be a little rough or scratchy, but I don't notice it at all when they're on head. These are super comfortable. You've got the pivot mic there that mutes when you push it up. This is flexible as well, and it just sounds damn good, as you can hear. The audio on these is decent as well. Not the most detailed thing I've heard, but totally suitable for me in competitive gaming, and the directional positioning is solid. The range is also very good on these. 30 feet or so is no problem. This is a simple, straightforward, just well-executed headset. I can't forgive the lack of Bluetooth mixing at this price point, but chat mix definitely would have been nice. Nonetheless, with a mic this good, if you can score these for $100, that's a very solid pickup. We have to talk about the Astro A30 too, because there's been this big push lately for a product to be your only headset for both gaming and lifestyle. Most every attempt I've seen at this has missed the mark in some way, but the A30 is the closest so far. It does a lot of things right, but it is on the pricier side of the market at $229.99. It looks amazing. It has speaker tags returning from previous versions. It of course has everything you'd expect in terms of chat mix, Bluetooth, and possibly the strongest side tone I've heard yet. It's got magnetic ear pads too, which is super convenient, but may mean you'll be limited if you're looking for aftermarket pads. One big point here is it's got a detachable boom mic, and it has beamform mics as well. So if you're out and about, you can pull that boom mic off and still use this to take a call, and it doesn't look obnoxiously gamery to me. It is made to travel too, because they include a nice zippered hard case here. It's got pretty solid passive noise cancellation, but no active noise canceling. All right, this is crazy. Now you're hearing just the on-set beamform mics. If I just go straight in on the beamform mics and hit record, I get really light levels. But if I start with the boom mic first and then pull it, I get the levels on the beam mics that you're hearing right now. To me, this sounds better than the boom mic, unless I'm losing my mind. I didn't do anything to the audio here at all. It's just recording straight into Audition off the 2.4 gigahertz dongle. These to me sound every bit as good, if not better, than like the AirPods Pro mics or like any of the Sony over-ear WH headphone mics. It's nutty. I know that the Corsair is a tough act to follow from a tone standpoint, but this is very impressive. The headband is a bit of a concern, as there's an area here on both sides that doesn't exactly inspire confidence. Even with these on their max adjustment, I start to get a hot spot right on the top of my head at about the hour mark, so these are not very comfortable long-term for me, but your mileage may vary. You have a USB-A dongle here. It's odd to me that they didn't go with a USB-C dongle with an extender so you could use these wirelessly with a Nintendo Switch. You can, of course, use these wired with anything that takes a basic headphone plug, but oddly, there are technically 3 versions here. I've got the Xbox version, and it works fine on the PC, but unlike the SteelSeries, the Xbox version does not work on the PlayStation side. It's my understanding that at some point they will sell additional add-on dongles for this headset if you're in a position where you own multiple systems. The tuning on these is really solid for casual music listening. They seem to have a nice, accessible Harman curve tuning that will be pleasing to most consumers. They sound marginally better for music than the Arctis Novas, but you have to take that $50 jump in price over the Arctis, and I'm not sure I'm hearing $50 worth of improvement there. And that's probably the biggest thing giving me pause about these. These are already pretty up there in price point, and adding additional dongles is going to cost you probably at least $20 a piece, though official pricing hasn't been released yet. The battery life on these is rated at 27 hours, but that's all over the place because of all the features. It really depends on how you use them and how much stuff you're doing with them simultaneously. I do like these, and I understand they have to make up the cost of the beamform mics, but I wish we had better multi-system compatibility right out of the box, and I wish they came in just a little bit cheaper. Other notable entries this year are the Sony InZone H9, which I've done a lengthy review on, and also compared to other flagship wireless models, as well as the EPOS H3 Pro Hybrid. Both of these, though, are cases where the inclusion of active noise canceling drove the price up. On the Sony side, it's better bang for your buck to look at the mid-tier H7, and on the EPOS side, I would look for a holiday sale on the H3 Pro Hybrid because they're very good. On the speaker side, I haven't used the Arena 7 speaker system nearly as often as I thought I would. It's great for casual stuff or just background music in the room, but in competitive gaming, I don't find it puts me close enough to the audio. So in order of preference, it would be wired headphone or IEM setup with an XLR mic, then down to wireless headsets, then a big step down to wireless IEMs or earbuds, and then finally speakers. This video got really long today, but if you're curious, my current meta for actual headphones for competitive is the Beyerdynamic 300R at $149. These are crazy comfortable, super easy to drive, and now that these are available as a standalone purchase, I recommend these even over the tried and true drop Sennheiser HD58X. For mid-tier, I like the DT900 Pro at $249, though they are admittedly the least comfortable of the Bears out of the box, and they need some time to break in to really get comfortable. And if you have some deeper pockets, the DT1990 at just under $500. These are easily the longest running headphone that's occupied a spot on my desk. They're great for practically every application, and if I could keep only one headphone in my collection, it would be these, though they do require some power to really perform. Those are all open backs, which is what I prefer. If you need closed back because you're in a loud room, the DT770 or 700 Pro are great options as well. It's no accident that all my personal recommendations for headphones are Beyerdynamic. Their directional positioning is great, and their house tuning works really well for gaming. If you want to see a detailed breakdown of all the ones I just mentioned, plus a few I didn't, you can check out this detailed video right here. If you want to talk about audio at all, or you're looking for specific recommendations, the best place to do that is in the private Discord. That's available to Patreon supporters, and I will link that down in the description. And finally, by popular demand, I will be refreshing the DAC amp recommendations video to reflect some products that have hit market over the past couple years. That's it for today. I will catch you all in the next one. Stay up.